rescue. You want the first people you know. Show me the million rescue. To save somebody, the million rescue.
To deliver you from something, take you for something.
So you are the poor people. Rescue me, save. But we the old people. Rescue the million rescue. That Boakai help me while in the water. But Jota Boakai can't tell in the water. He can't put one neck in the water but to kill on money. You know they get people the pressure. Husband not working. I live in Joseph. I even made 1,000 a lot. I even made 500 a lot profit. Let me come and go. Children waiting for me. You are Jota Boakai. What will be our result next year? We wouldn't even 1 year. What will be our result the following year?
Okay. Thank you so much. What's your name? What's your name?
My name is Patience Mane.
Patience Mane. You sell in the market here?
Yes.
What you selling at the table?
Yes.
No
market. Can't get some. I go look for an season.
You go look for the market, you see some?
I see food, call it food price. The way up, you not understand ourselves. When you go to there, you buy another price. When you come, you buy a different price. So the money I can put it back on my.
Also, the money you carry in, to the cold storage.
They put it back on my. Very rich.
How much for the fish?
You buy snapper 14,000. What is the buy? 10,000, 8,000. Buy it 14,000. One cartoon snapper 14,000. So we beg the government. We ask y'all to help us to beg our government. We say you keep to rescue us. But the rescue that you're doing that we're not understanding it. And when they pull the police on the street, our boyfriend there, they're not giving nothing to us again. They say they can't rescue us. While they cause a motor runner running, they want not doing they want. They are breaking the government. We the poor people, they must find place for us that we want be able to scare our clothes. They got poor people, they got rich people in the town. Some of all we not got notes from the South God. And that basically we do, we not understand our children run to school. Our children, when we can't sell the market, we can't make a damn. They say rescue, but we're not understanding the rescue team. So they were taking them from all of the street for smoking, for drugs and things. But I think you see them now. All of them turn to Zoom. They can stay in the freeze.
So the drugs are to you?
Rampant now, a more than rampant.
Okay.
The drugs is rampant. Some of them almost 20% on the street because of Zoom.
The zombie drugs?
Yeah, the Zoom that they bring in Jota Boakai. Because we are trying to sell our kush, but now Zumi, when he said I see that you are so sticking at it. So we asking him to please, we the parent of our boys children, we ask him to please help us to make our children to leave Zumi. Because he said he came to change things. And no change, we not understand our land. Police people getting our keke motor hard time. Police people beating our children on the street. They say they should raise that, they should become over there, walk over that one, everything they do. But what police people are home king? That just one thing we just getting dropping like that. Tell him, don't on the napa, tell him sorry. We're not taking somebody like for the country. So we should tell our president to help we the poor people.
Selling money, how's the business?
We get God and go for it. You don't let that tell God take you for. But money ain't in the country now.
In process.
For now, if I have to tell you that before we're all there,
my fellow Liberians, I'm Anthony Daniel C. Gay, Jr., Deputy Information Minister of the Republic of Liberia. Welcome to the third episode of the President Leah Thank You series. Today, it's time to look at his achievements in the education sector. By 2017, the number of school-going persons had increased since the end of the Civil War, but the learning outcomes were poor. Many parts of Liberia were without high schools, and children who attended classes in dilapidated structures were taught with inadequate materials by many demotivated teachers who were irregularly underpaid as low as 2,500 Liberian dollars as a monthly salary. With few weak regulatory mechanisms in place, the unprecedented repeated mass failure of students in WAEC and UL entrance examinations consistently exposed the failure of the government education system. President Weah's predecessor had conceded to these enormous challenges and had publicly confessed that their education system was a mess. President Weah inherited a mess and immediately started to reverse the downward trend the education sector had taken. President Weah immediately lobbied with GPE for $11 million to support early childhood education in 6 counties. 300 in-service teachers and administrators were trained, and grants were given to 550 early childhood education schools for learning materials. President Weah has also addressed the secondary education challenge. He has attracted $47 million United States dollars from ADA to enable him construct 3 model high schools in Banga, Kakata, and Ganta cities, and is rehabilitating 156 public schools across the country. He is smartly using the funding opportunity to upgrade about 25 public junior high schools to senior high schools to ensure that each education district in Liberia has at least 1 public high school. Construction works are ongoing at the 25 following schools: Dua Gatton and William V. Stockman in Nima County, Nomo Port Central, Draw, Gibsonville, and Troy Public Schools in Sano County, Barakan, Bonington, and Guiado in Maryland, Chibokan, Tomwa, and Koyakan in Rewaji, Joseph McGill, Bella Fasama, and Gaga Bukita in Bapulu County, Owens Grove, St. John, and Guillotin in Grand Bassa, Bojize, Zamitown, and Yakatown in Rewaset, Kokoya Central High in Bon, and Bee Public School in Magibi County. Construction works are also currently ongoing at 18 early childhood primary schools across the country. To reduce the high rate of school female dropouts, President Weah ensured that up to $250 United States dollars was given as sponsorship from 9th to 12th grade to each of 3,000 girls in the counties with the highest rates of secondary school dropouts. President Weah is about to install an all-inclusive solar panel digital library in 157 public high schools across the country, and users will not need internet connection. All of the 157 schools have received 5,000 United States dollars each to prepare the rooms to deploy the digital platform. Since 2018, President Weah has paid $500,000 United States dollars annually as WAS fees for all students taking the exam. Under President Weah, the passing rate of students in WAS and other public exams has improved steadily. President Weah has also made the University of Liberia and all other public tertiary institutions tuition-free to grant the poorest of Liberian students access to higher education. President Weah has sent 30% of the University of Liberia Teachers College and the Teachers Training Institutes to foreign graduate schools to specialize in different sectors of education to improve the teachers training program. The 30% have completed the training. President Weah has completed the rehabilitation and reconstruction of TVET workshops in all 6 multilateral high schools. He has rehabilitated all of the trade workshops at BWI and has constructed TVET workshops at the Kipamos High School. President Weah has removed over 1,000 gross names from the Ministry of Education payroll and has added 3,000 supplementary teachers who have irregularly received 2,500 Liberian dollars as monthly salary. Under President Weah, all public school teachers are paid at least 150 United States dollars gross salary. President Weah has established a division for disability and inclusive education for the first time at the Ministry of Education, and with the support from the World Bank, 40 teachers were trained to improve their abilities to identify students with special needs. To inspire nation building and patriotism, President Weah has reinstated civics education in a curriculum for Liberian schools. President Weah has developed several education policies to improve and strengthen regulation of the sector, including the Policy on Health School Administration, School Grading and Quality Assessment Tool, PTA policy, and Girls Education Policy, which introduced the recruitment and deployment of 200 guardian counselors in all public schools. All of these achievements cause us to forget that COVID-19 disrupted President Weah's development drive for a whole year. But even during the pandemic, He solicited help from the development partners and launched a COVID identify students with special needs. To inspire nation building and patriotism, President Weah has reinstated civics education in a curriculum for Liberian schools. President Weah has developed several education policies to improve and strengthen regulation of the sector, including the policy on health school administration, school grading and quality assessment tool, PTA policy, and girls education policy, which introduced the recruitment and deployment of 200 guardian counselors in all public schools. All of these achievements cause us to forget that COVID-19 disrupted President Weah's development drive for a whole year. But even during the pandemic, he solicited help from the development partners and launched a COVID-19 Education Emergency Response Plan. Under the plan, lessons were aired by radio. 6,000 plus kits were procured. 150 watch facilities were constructed in public schools. Risk prevention controls were established to create safe environments for the speedy reopening of schools. During the COVID-19 pandemic, President Weah also provided relief packages for about 20,000 private school teachers who were not fortunate to receive salaries like their public school counterparts. Thank you, President Weah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever the time is from your end, I want to use this time to extend my thanks and appreciation to all of you for your presence under the Palava Hut. It is a privilege for us to be here, and whenever we have that privilege, we must all give glory to the Almighty who has given us a breath, who stay watching over us while we walk on this earth. So we want to say thanks to all of you. In a special way, I want to appreciate you, and I want to ask that you kindly do us a favor. And that favor that we want you to do us is to hit for us the share button while we begin our discussion today. You know, after the civil war in Liberia, one of the most difficult moments for the nation was the period of the corona or COVID. Somebody will say, what happened to the Ebola? Ebola was an epidemic. To some extent, it was restricted to certain region. To some extent, it was controlled and could be easily handled. But the COVID-19, but for the COVID-19, it wasn't like that. The COVID-19 was an epidemic that took over the whole world. That took over the whole world. A pandemic. Even great nations, great nations were brought down to its lowest level. The lives of people were being taken away. Medically, it was not something that was very easy for the world in general. It was a tough time for the world. To the extent that the entire world was shut down. Let me put this here. The entire world was shut down. There was a complete shutdown to the extent that nations were even refusing to open their airspace, their land space, and etc. So President Weah inherited some of the most difficult period, not only in the world, not only in Africa, sorry, not only in Africa, not only in the Western region, but the entire globe. We were faced with too many problems. COVID-19 was on our back. We had the Ukraine war. We had a massive reduction in, the price of some of our most important exports, like the rubber, the iron ore, and you just name it. Oil has left the country. The people that were bringing in millions of dollars, and the people that also help in the job sector, the people who actually help to stabilize the country in terms of job opportunities. There were some of our brothers who were working with the United Nations as other mechanic, cleaners, etc., etc. So when oil left, the gap was too heavy. Look, we must celebrate President Weah. We must celebrate the CDC government. One of the reasons why Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf insisted that the United Nations be in Liberia was not only for the protections of our borders, but also was for the economic protection of our nation. Because she observed that it was really going to be a tough time. Even though we had construction companies all over the place, but these construction companies, like the international report said, it was just two that met the international requirement to operate as a company and was following those protocol and policies that are required. All the other rest of them, a social 419 company that came back under the disguise of company that came back for their money after supporting the war. So the person that really took a very hard hit was President Weah. The departure of Omil, most of our brothers and our sisters who were working, at least cutting contract, if even it's not something that they say yes, it's a job of guarantee, but some of them were cutting contract, at least getting small money. Piap, Omil left, and the entire employment skill broke Bakara. The presence of Omil that was supplying the market with United States dollars that to some extent caused some serious stability. When Omil left, sure, huge amount of United States dollars were pulled out of our economy. Look, I am telling you about His Excellency President Dr. George Manning Weah. He's the man I'm telling you about. The education sector, fellow Liberian, the video that I just played, courtesy of the Ministry of Information at the time when the Honorable gave yourself as Deputy Minister. Omil alone play a very, very key role in our education sector. Most of the schools that you saw in the counties and around They were heavily supported by the United Nations mission in Liberia. UNMIL helped to even build some of these schools, supply them with materials and etc. When UNMIL left, there was a big gap in the education sector. To the extent even Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf herself confessed that the education sector of Liberia was a complete mess, according to her. No, not me. According to her, the education sector was a complete mess. That is the voice of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Now, I don't want you to believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I'm going to play this video again so that you can hear it for yourself. Let me look for that particular area so that you can hear it for yourself. When Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf said that the education sector was a complete mess, according to Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So let's play it here for you to hear it, and then we can move on.
As a monthly salary, with few weak regulatory mechanisms in place, the unprecedented repeated mass failure of students in WAEC and UL entrance examination consistently exposed the failure of the government education system. President Weah's predecessor had conceded to these enormous challenges and had publicly confessed that the education system was a mess.
Yeah, here is the recording. Here is it. And this was published in August 19, 2023. This particular article, when Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf said the Liberian education system was a complete mess. This is it. It's not a story that I'm making up. That's why I make it big for you to see it, so you can see and know what we are talking about. This is what President Weah inherited from Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, with all of the opportunities that were given, with all of our international support, the international support that we receive from various institutions. But yet the education system, according to Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, was a mess. Mass failure was the order of the day. We experienced a serious decline in female participation in the education sector, even though we had a female as president. There were serious opportunity gaps, especially for females. But when President Weah took over, that dynamics changed in the education sector. It changed. So President Weah did not sit down to complain. He did not sit down and say, but early justice were here, just a human breaker, they were here. Anytime they were here, they do nothing in the education sector. A generational leader, a generational thinker that will not blame other people. But we say it's about time that we solve the problem. He did not look around and say, we are do they want, anyone we are do they want, anyone sorry, anyone Ellen do they want, Ellen do they want. He was not looking at people to give excuse, because he knew very well that he has inherited the problem, and that's why he took the mantle of authority as president. So he did not go about blaming, just stop posing, comparing. Oh, the time Ellen, yeah, you were feeling that what I'm gonna do now. He did not go about doing that like our brothers are today doing. When you tell them of this, then they go to Chalekinta. Anything will happen in Chalekinta? When you tell them the other one, but anything will happen, then why you took on the responsibility now? I thought you told us you were coming to come and solve the problem. I thought you told us that you were coming to rescue. But when we ask you to come rescue, they say, but see, 1847, you are not rescued, and I'm coming to come rescue you. So President Weah did not complain. What did he do? He jumped straight into action. But this was the man that they overlook. They call him names. They say he was not educated. He will not make a good leader. He does not have what it takes to develop the country. But these were some of his works. These were some of his works. These were some of the things that he did.
We
Go
are
ahead.
inherited a mess
Let's
and
listen.
immediately started to reverse the downward trend the education sector had taken. President, we are immediately lobbying with GPE for 11 million to support early childhood education in 6 counties. 300 in-service teachers and administrators were trained, and grants were given to
300 in-service teachers and administrators. President Weah did not stop there. In fact, President Weah went as far as saying how best he can lobby with other African nations to help us. To the extent he went to Nigeria and asked for some of the cream de la cream in their education sector to come to Liberia to help. And people politicized it. Joseph Numa Boakai and his gangsters, they politicized it as if some of you did not benefit from some of these people from West Africa who taught us in school. Coming up in school, in high school, I had the opportunity to have been tutored by some people from Ghana, Sierra Leone, Nigeria. I had teachers that were teaching me from Ghana, from Sierra Leone, from Nigeria. You know, these were some of the common countries that people used to come from to come and help. But when President William pled for teachers to come and help us, it became a political matter in Liberia. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We did not hear in our ears. We did not hear in our ears. So President William looked at it for long and said, okay, since these people are causing noise, what do we do? What do we do? Let me use this time to welcome our people. Let me welcome my own brother, one of the pioneers of this platform, the founder of this platform, our own brother, Salia Soni. I want to say you are welcome, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you so very kindly for your presence here. He is one person who established this platform. This platform has stakeholders, and our own brother Salia Soni is one of the stakeholders of this particular platform, the founder of this platform. Like our brother Alhaj Bawazi, and also our sister, one of our sister who is no longer, but anyway, one of our sister, Swa Morris. I recognize you people. Kima passed away. You are welcome. Josephine, how are you, Mama? My own lovely sister right there, Josephine Sewa. You are highly welcome. I appreciate you. Justin Wilson, thank you so much for joining us. Chris McCourtier, we appreciate you. Thank you so very kindly. Ishaka Saw, how are you? Otaka, you are highly welcome. Jay Reeves, I appreciate your presence. Thank you for joining us. Blamo Khan, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for your presence. I want to say all of you are highly welcome. Thank you so very kindly. All of you are highly welcome. We appreciate you. So at the end of the day, fellow Liberians, President Weah said, what do we do? Since Liberians or these politicians, they want to play politics out of everything, what do we do? He went out to lobby it so people can be able to help him in the education sector. He did not sit down there. Let's go to the video.
had conceded
Listen.
to these enormous challenges and have publicly confessed that their education system was a mess. President Weah inherited a mess and immediately started to reverse the downward trend the education sector had taken. President Weah immediately lobbied with GPE for 11 million to support.
You see that? Joseph Numa Boakai has used the Liberian people money to travel and not even bringing a single $5. But President Weah was able to lobby. He was able to go to beg. Hey, see the nonsense I pour in with Joseph Numa Boakai. An old man who will go travel around the world and will not even be given credence by his peer because the people know that this man has no record of even helping his own people. Yeah, it's it. President Weah went around the world to ask, to beg for his people. It was not for himself. It was not to take the money and use it on his health. It was not to take the money and lie and put it in his foundation. He lobbied for 11.7 million from GPE to improve early childhood primary education. Here is it. Your Joseph Numa Boakai has traveled almost all over the world to the extent he went all to Kosovo. When I mean went there, I'm talking about trying to establish a relationship with Kosovo, another hungry country. What has it to show us for all of these travels? So in the education sector, President Weah said, look, we must beg. You had a president who put down his pride, who put down his dignity, a man who is highly respected in the world, a man who world leader want to see, want to touch, and want to sit with. President Weah had to reduce himself to a beggar on your behalf, on our behalf, on our children's behalf. What a leader. A man who the great Nelson Mandela said, it's a privilege for me to stand with you and take picture with you. The words of Nelson Mandela. The man who somebody like Kofi Annan the late said, Mr. George, it's a privilege for me to share the same room with you when he intervened in the issue in Liberia after the election. But President Weah was able to put aside everything and said, I will go beg for my country survival. You condemn this man, you criticize him, you say all sort of nonsense about him. Now you bring an ailing, sick old man without any idea, a dead man walking. All of the travels that this old man has made has not even accrued 0.002% benefit to us as Liberians. Which one of the sector, since Joseph Numa Boakai travel, that you can boast of, that his travel brought this to this sector, his travel brought that to this sector? Which one? I am giving you, look, you see how easy, you see how the truth is easy. Other people, they vex, they will tell, oh, you lie, oh, you this, oh, you that. If you want a link, I will send it. Come, let's discuss. Come, let's discuss. Tell us the travel that Joseph Numa Boakai has traveled. What have we accrued from these travels? This man lied to you and myself and said, I get friends in higher places. Where are his friends that we cannot see? Where are his friends? Look, Liberians, let us stop talking about smartness for now. Let's focus on something else. Because what I have observed, an 80 years old man play all of us out. Who get one arcade degree. See nothing who get our own to. Never thought of improving on that particular degree. Pass around and say he's an how you call an agriculturalist. Don't even have a backyard garden. Lie to you. So when people talking the reality, sit down and listen. Don't act like you smart. We allow ourselves to be deceived by an 80 years old man without fresh idea, a dead man walking, deceive you, lie to you, put words together, and you bought it and voted. Today, look at the disaster we are faced with. So this is what happened in the education sector. Let's go ahead. President, we are lobbying so that our children can have better education because they think about education, they think about critical thinking, they think about mental development. It starts from the very early age. If you cannot get good things for the children in terms of education, morals, and etc., when they grow up, you can't get anything from them. So these are some of the things that President Weah did when he was traveling. The man go for the 8 day. The man we can see the man. The man go 100 day. The man go do the man go do that. President Weah was able to use his lobbyistic power, even though he did not stay in government for 43 years. But he was able to use his lobbyistic power and lobbied with the GPE for $11.7 million for childhood education, primary education. Was everything rosy under him? No. But we saw a significant strife and effort, especially when O'Mill departs and said that Liberia now was mature enough to stand on her 2 feet. Let's go ahead.
Put early childhood education in 6 counties, 300 in-service teachers.
In 6 counties, you hear it? It was not just Masorado, but in 6 counties. And those counties, one was Lofa, Grand Bassa, etc., etc. In 6 counties. He did not take the money and say that, look, the people love it. Today we have a Jasso from the Ministry of Education who is sitting down, taking money and doing nothing. We have an education minister today that everything is going on wrong. The schools are with our chairs. This woman cajoled you and myself. When she took over, she was traveling to go see Liberia because some of these people, they left Liberia a long time. Some of them, they never had the opportunity to travel Liberia. So when she was appointed as education minister, she was deceiving herself and thinking that she was deceiving the Liberian people. She says she's traveling, inspecting counties, education sector to see what is going on there. It was a deception. Because right now, as I speak to you, I'm in chat room as an educator. I am in chat rooms and I'm seeing how people are complaining to the extent that enrollment have dropped drastically. Enrollment have dropped drastically. A known critics of President Weah from one of the organization schools, which I don't want to be very specific to call. These people, they were known critics of President Weah. Today we in the same chat room. And to just let you know, I was also a member, or I am also a member, of the the Private School Teachers Association. And I'm in chat room with some school administrators and etc. New critics now of President Weah in some of the organizational school. They are now crying that there is, I'll give you one example. I'm not saying that, but I'll give you one example. The Methodists, they are crying that there is a serious reduction in the population. The Catholic also, they are crying. The Episcopal, they are crying that there is a serious reduction in the students' population in the schools across Liberia. They are now crying. So when President Weah was there, he did not just look for it for Masorado. He was not a Masorado president. He was not a Morovia president. He went out there to lobby on his people's behalf. Let's go ahead and listen.
And administrators were trained, and grants were given to 550 early childhood education schools for learning materials.
Yeah,
President Weah
grants were given. He gave them money. Call this school. Say, look, you in childhood education, let's small grant here. There were many schools that received little grants to help them because most of these schools, the place they can get money from to pay teachers, take care of the school, do this, do that, and all the other thing is from the school fees. Most of these schools, they don't have extender board who raise money for them and sponsor or take care of some of these or some of their needs. Some of these schools, they are depending on the enrollment to improve the system there. That's why you see in Liberia with some of these schools, they can't let go because they don't want to implement any kind of strenuous policy that at the end of the day students will drop, because if students are not going to the school, how do you get money to even pay the teachers, to maintain the buildings, to buy even stationaries or other materials that you will use? But what President Weah did was to give grants or loan to these schools, that look, we will help to be able to ease the burden, like he did with the rice, like he did with fuel oil, so many things in Liberia. No, don't believe me. Here is it. Listen.
In-service teachers and administrators were trained, and grants were given to 550 early childhood education schools for learning materials. President Weah has also addressed the secondary education challenge. He has attracted $47 million United States dollars from ADA to enable him construct.
You hear it? From ADA. $47 million. When you are asking me, President Weah was traveling, waiting, he was doing. These are some of the things that he was doing. From ADA, 47 million to build high schools in the counties. And that project started for election, and Liberians were deceived. So these are some of the things that President Weah was able to do. These are some of the things. President Weah did not sit and put his hand between his legs. When he was going out, he was lobbying, begging other people for help to improve the education sector. Let's go ahead. Today we're talking about Weah achievement, some of his achievement in the education sector. Let's go ahead.
3 model high schools in Banga, Kakata, and Ganta cities.
You see that? Now, the construction of the school had begun already under the regime of President Weah. This is in 2020. I know tomorrow Joseph Newman Boakai will come and say that the Mapo is new on it for him. Here is it. Here is it. Look at the news. We are not making this up. Go there. Here is it. Look at it for yourself. Front page Africa. October 17, 2022 edition. Go there. You will see it there. At the end of the day, this is what President Weah was doing for his people. And the schools were not just for Mosorado. It was going to affect Mount Gibby. And etc. etc. This is what President Weah was doing. Today, what is Boakai doing? Boakai is passing around, opening how you call him pond that will now work after 1 week. What a disgrace. And spending almost $280,000+ on projects that we spend 1 week. What a disgrace. An old man that has an insatiable desire for wealth and doesn't care about the people. Let's go ahead.
And is rehabilitating 156 public schools across the country.
156 public schools. One of the public schools that I remember were the Kendeja High School. Oh, that place was bad off. Kendeja High School. President Weah went there and gave that place a facelift. So he was renovating schools across the country, making them to look like an institution that children can go and learn in. Because the environment of the school also, it helps in improving or in enhancing the children's, own ability to comprehend. We call that one in education the environmental factor that contribute towards the child education or the child's development. Anyway, I'll let it go there. No, let's just leave on the level that we are. So the renovation of these schools, that it will meet a standard that the children will go and know, say, yeah, we are in classroom too. It started under President Weah. What has Joseph Newman Boakai been engaged with in the agriculture sector? What? This man boasts of him being an agriculturalist. What is the improvement in the agriculture sector? There are many things to get to talk. I will just run over this because we have our topic to go into. Let's listen to
Partly
this.
using a funny opportunity to upgrade about 25 public junior high schools to senior high schools to ensure
You see
that
that?
each education district in Liberia
From junior high school, these schools were upgraded from junior high school to senior high school. He upgraded the school and said, let's turn this school into senior high school for our children because of the growing wave of, kids that were involved, and parents also had a desire that their children should learn. In fact, President Weah's story was a story that encouraged everybody to learn. Encouraged everybody to learn. So people were sending their children to school. People were sending their children to school. Let's go ahead. President Weah achievement in the education sector.
has at least one public high school. Construction works are ongoing at the 25 following schools: Dua Gatton and William V. Stockman in Nima County.
See
No more
that?
Port Central, Draw.
These are facts. These are facts. Here are the information. Like the road project that Joseph Newman Boakai running with. All of these things were being paid for already. Money given to the people. They won the bid already. The money is given to them to go and just renovate these areas, to improve the secondary school. So when you see Joseph Newman Boakai doing these things, it is not that he the one go low for the money, but he get telling the people who face it, you go and go face it. Like same thing with the road. President Weah went out, scat for the money, did everything, did the heavy lifting and everything, and Joseph Newman Boakai taking it, telling the people to do it and running with it. Oh yeah, that what project, that what project. Joseph Newman looking like somebody who get desire to even undertake a kitchen project. Does he have that desire? No, that desire is not there.
I need to go. Daddy.
Hmm?
I need to go table.
Okay, I'm coming. Does it look like somebody? So let me play this for you while I attend to what I'm attending to, because my attention is needed on the other side. So listen here. I will play this again.
We are inherited a mess and immediately started to reverse the downward trend the education sector had taken. President we are immediately lobbied with GPE for 11 million to support early childhood education in 6 counties. 300 in-service teachers and administrators were trained, and grants were given to 550 early childhood education schools for learning materials. President Weah has also addressed the secondary education challenge. He has attracted 47 million United States dollars from ADA to enable him construct 3 model high schools in Banga, Kakata, and Ganta cities, and is rehabilitating 156 public schools across the country. He is smartly using the funny opportunity to upgrade about 25 public junior high schools to senior high schools to ensure that each education district in Liberia has at least one public high school. Construction works are ongoing at the 25 following schools: Dua Gatton and William V. Stockman in Nima County. No more Port Central, Draw, Gibsonville, and Troy Public Schools in Sano County. Barakan, Bonington, and Guiado in Maryland. Chibokan, Tom Y, and Koyakan in River G. Joseph McGill, Bella Fasama, and Gaga Bukita in Bapulu County. Orange Grove, St. John, and Guillotin in Grand Bassa. Bojize, Zamitown, and Yakatown in Rivers. Kokoya Central High in Bond, and Bee Public School in Margibi County. Construction works are also currently ongoing at 18 early childhood primary schools across the country. To reduce the high rate of school female dropouts, President Weah ensured that up to 250 United States dollars was given as sponsorship from 9th to 12th grade to each of 3,000 girls in the counties with the highest rates of secondary school dropouts. President Weah is about to install an all-inclusive solar panel digital library in 157 public high schools across the country, and users will not need internet connection. All of the 157 schools have received 5,000 United States dollars each to prepare the rooms to deploy the digital platform. Since 2018, President Weah has paid $500,000 United States dollars annually as WAS fees for all students taking the exam. Under President Weah, the passing rate of students in WAS and other public exams has improved steadily. President Weah has also made the University of Liberia and all other public tertiary institutions tuition-free to grant the poorest of Liberian students access to higher education. President Weah has sent 30% of the University of Liberia Teachers College and the Teachers Training Institutes to foreign graduate schools to specialize in different sectors of education to improve the teachers training program. The 30% have completed the training. President Weah has completed the rehabilitation and reconstruction of TVET workshops in all 6 multilateral high schools. He has rehabilitated all of the trade workshops at BWI and has constructed TVET workshops at the Kipamos High School. President Weah has removed over 1,000 gross names from the Ministry of Education payroll and has added 3,000 supplementary teachers who had irregularly received 2,500 Liberian dollars as monthly salary. Under President Weah, all public school teachers are paid at least 150 United States dollars gross salary. President Weah has established the Division for Disability and Inclusive Education for the first time at the Ministry of Education. And with the support from the World Bank, 40 teachers were trained to improve their abilities to identify students with special needs. To inspire nation building and patriotism, President Weah has reinstated civics education in a curriculum for Liberian schools. President Weah has developed several education policies to improve and strengthen regulation of the sector, including the Policy on Health School Administration, School Grading and Quality Assessment Tool, PTA policy, and Girls Education Policy, which introduced the recruitment and deployment of 200 guardian counselors in all public schools. All of these achievements cause us to forget that COVID-19 disrupted President Weah's development drive for a whole year. But even during the pandemic, he solicited help from the development partners and launched a COVID-19 Education Emergency Response Plan. Under the plan, lessons were aired by radio. 6,000 plus kits were procured. 150 watch facilities were constructed in public schools. Risk prevention controls were established to create safe environments for the speedy reopening of schools. During the COVID-19 pandemic, President Weah also provided relief packages for about 20,000.
Now, there you see it and you hear it. I'm going to put this video aside that has to do with President Weah achievement and go into what we are supposed to be discussing today. So you are seeing it there. It's not something that we are making up. There's not a make-up story to say, oh yeah, you know, the people making out the story for them, the how it looking like. You are seeing paper trail and evidence of what we are speaking about. You are seeing it. But again, fellow Liberians, all we can say to you is that President, we are care about you. Unlike these people who have no desire to even improve your life. But today, fellow Liberians, we want to talk about 3 major things that is happening in our country. Like I said earlier, one, we want to look at the alarming permit issue rate by the Ministry of Labor. We'll be looking at the bill calling for the establishment of a Muslim holiday, and we'll also be looking at the escalating police brutality and unexplained death. You know, yeah, that is lacking investigation by the LMP. Let us talk about the alarming work permit that has been issued or that is issued, you know, by the Ministry of Labor. You know, fellow Liberians, for our brothers who do not know, the reason why we see an increase in work permit, or the reason why we require that we must give work permit to people who are not Liberians, is to be able to ensure that those work that they are asking for to do or that they will be doing, that they are not work that can be done by Liberians. The reason why the work permit is issued to people who are not Liberians is to ensure that when these people enter the job market, that they are not doing work that Liberians can easily do, so as to get track of these people, so as to know what they are doing and where they are doing what they are doing. These work permits are issued so that we can have a track of some of the vacancies, and also the people who are occupying those various vacancies, especially who are not Liberians. The reason why we gave our work permit is not for us to be able to raise money. You say, yeah, let's raise money. Let's use it as a medium where we can raise plenty of money to contribute towards the budget. No. But it is to protect Liberians and to protect our country, to protect our job markets, and to ensure that Liberians are given the opportunity over anyone else. That is why these things are put in place. But it is unfortunate that under Joseph Numa Boakai, we are seeing the opposite. And the reason why we are seeing today the Ministry of Labor is now engaged in what we call raising money, giving out work permit like that, is because the government cares about putting money in their pockets. They care about putting money in their pocket. It rough on them. Joseph Numa Boakai, who lied to you and myself that he has experience, he get friends in higher places, he get connections, he will get all of the help. People will come and company will flow and people will have job. Nobody will have to sell on the street. It's not working. It is not working. All that thing he said, they were all lies, so blah. It's not working. So at the end of the day, agencies and ministry that should not be looking at, that should not be talking about fundraising. Their key motive and attention should not be fundraising. All of them now, they go to fundraising now to raise income for the government. And sadly, those incomes that are being raised, they are not what they are contributing to the budget. Most of this money are going towards Joseph Numa Boakai Foundation, that he is using it to build a multi-million dollars complex in Foya. So we got an information that the Ministry of Labor gave out 8,000 permits to people who are not Liberians. 8,000 permits to people who are not Liberian. Hey, my people, this is scaring. This is worrisome. The numbers that we are talking about is not 800. So when you look at it, you will observe that in the private sector, to some extent, we have jobs. But unfortunately, because this government does not care about you, this government have no feeling for the Liberian people. So you know what? They prioritize foreigners over you. They prioritize foreigners over you. Don't get me wrong. All of us have lived in other countries and we have worked. We are grateful. And we thank these countries. But they don't prioritize their own over anybody. Even in America, here where we live. Learn the book until you can get home on your head. Once you are not an American, you have some limitations. Learn the book like you get home on your head, you still have limitations. Oh, yes. There's certain areas not for you. So if the Ministry of Labor is giving out this kind of payment, 8,000, it means that there are jobs. But unfortunately, because the government does not care about you, the Ministry of Labor does not care about you, guess what happened? They prefer giving it to foreigners to go and take the job. To the extent that when you go to Liberia, go in most of these stores, people who writing receipts, they are Lebanese, while Liberians are there toting cement bag on their head and bringing it outside. When one Lebanese picking sitting down behind there, who is not as educated as some of these Liberians, when they read receipt, they say, John, go to the warehouse, take 5 pack of zingne asa, bring 3 bag of cement. So when these Lebanese children, they finish writing, they give it to us, then we want to receive. They will go in the warehouse. Oh, that 2, how you call, plane are supposed to bring us, you bring it us. Like Liberians are not competent and qualified to do it. Is it that the problem started today? No, I'm not saying that Honor Joseph Newman Boakai. But right now, what I'm saying is rampant. It's rampant. Look at the number. 8,000. 8,000. So it is rampant. And when these things are happening, it's an indication that they don't care about you. There's the reason why when you go to these companies, Liberians are contractors. Liberians are contractors. They gave them contractor, how you call, a status. You work for 3 months, they finish, they sack you, they bring other people there. But meanwhile, they get other people there who have received this permit from the Ministry of Labor, and they are working full time. They are gainfully employed. People who are cooks, Lebanese who are cooks, some of them who are just, how you call, receive boys and girls around the place. The money that they are taking is equivalent to paying about 10 casual workers. These are some of the things that are happening. When you have a government that is insensitive and that does not care about the people, that don't give a hang about how the people think, how they feel, that's what can happen. To the extent, if Joseph Newman Boakai can tell you and myself that Liberia all right now, you think they get time for you? No, listening to it. So now when we talk, people say, oh, your pilot lying. Oh, your pilot doing this. I come in, let me play. Joseph Newman Boakai say everything is okay. What do you expect from this man? The man telling you all is okay. All is well. According to Joseph Newman Boakai, here's the clip. Let me play it. You hear him? Now everything okay now in Liberia. Oh, Liberia is doing fine.
It's good to people who are familiar with the program. You know, they themselves, they used to play with their own money. And this time around, things are working very well.
Yeah.
People are happy going to the
This time around, things are working very well. People are happy, according to Joseph Newman Boakai. Oh, yeah, you are right, Joseph Newman Boakai. Because the Ministry of Labor is giving out 8,000 jobs that are meant for Liberians. And Liberians are sitting down, they're doing nothing. Somebody says silent means consent. So Joseph Newman Boakai is right. To tell the Liberian people everything is okay now, Liberians are happy. Joseph Newman Boakai is right. That's what I always say. Liberians, when we get ready, Boakai and his gangster will behave, but we're ready yet. Let's start playing fun with ourselves. We are not ready yet. When we get ready, Joseph Newman Boakai will be in a shell. He will behave himself. Why do you think the man get a tenacity to say that kind of thing? When the man raising almost, how you call, millions of dollars just from payments. You think why will he not? He will say everything is okay. When the owners of the resources refuse to take actions in their interest, the people who are not the owners, they become excited. Imagine Joseph Newman Boakai, who could not even afford to feed himself, that he has to depend on bank and beg people around here. This man is now telling us that Liberians are not happy. Oh, everything is okay, according to Joseph Newman Boakai.
night. And we
According to
just
him, that everything
good
is
to
fine.
people who are familiar with the program. You know, they themselves, they used to play with their own money. And this time around, things are working very well. People are happy going to the Hajj. And we just want to thank all of you for your cooperation and the extra work you're doing to make things happen for the country. For now, those are my remarks.
You hear? Now, Joseph Newman Boakai said for now that he remarks. He don't have time. He finished with you. You cry your own cry. You were taught tired. You were explained tired because you are not ready for action. You are not ready to take action. We are a nation that talk, and we're ready for action yet. When we get ready for action, Mr. Boakai will behave himself. When we get ready for action, the people will know. But for me and you, we just talk. We just talk. No serious country that the people wants to see improvement in their lives will allow an 80 years old man that has no vision, has no mark, to treat them like this. So it means almost about 80,000 jobs that Liberians are qualified to get. It was not those days where we say, oh, Liberians, they are not too good in the area of mechanic or in the other area, in the other area. Thank God for education over the period and for exposure. Things that Liberians never used to do, now they are doing it. I remember back those days when you are looking for good mechanic, they say go look for the Guinea men. I didn't want. But today, we have Liberians that are very, very good mechanics around the place. Before, when you're talking about accountant, maybe you're looking for good accountant that from Ghana, Nigeria. I remember back in the 80s. I'm not saying that there were not Liberians accountants, there were. But back in those days, Nigerian, Ghanaians, they were around, Sierra Leoneans and stuff like that. But now look at what we are having. All around the place you ask. When you pass by any 10 person you ask, among that 10, about 5 will tell you, say, I'm an accountant. Or some kind of money degree they know about. So we have people that are schooled in those areas. The engineering school, don't tell me these people that are coming that they giving 8,000 payment to. Who are they? Are you talking about engineer? The last time I checked, the engineering department of the University of Liberia is putting out graduates. It's putting out graduates. In these companies, what extra are they doing there? Are they consulting with aliens from extraterrestrials that only they can do it and not Liberians? As far as I know, there is no job now in Liberia that is offered by any one of these, how you call a construction company or this babati thing around, store they running around, that Liberians are not knowledgeable in. No. The Liberians are not knowledgeable in. Today, fellow Liberians, go and go see. No, go and go check for yourself.
To
You will see
people
what we are
who are
talking about.
familiar with the farm, they themselves, they used to play with their own money. And this time around, things are working very well. People are happy, going to the heights. And we just want to thank all of you for your.
Yeah. The people are saying that things are going on fine. Oh, yes. Come. Okay. You good. They say things are going on fine. Everything is okay. They don't care about you. What they care about is themselves. And you, Liberians, we are not taking action and demanding. Everything is okay. That what Joseph Newman Boakai will spend $46,000 on few group of people he put it on poster. He say, and that they didn't want a reload, cloud reload. Because he said everything is okay. Liberians are not talking. Liberians are not taking serious action. They are sitting down. They are very complacent. Fellow Liberians, until we can tell these people that our mumu don't do, they will continue to make fun of us. They will continue to play with us. They will not take us seriously. 8,000 jobs, permit giving out. Go look at some of the things that these people are doing. Horse gear. Why would you want to take horse gear from Lebanon to bring that person in Liberia as if they are not Liberians? Why would you want to take store supervisors? And that's some of the things, store supervisor, that's some of the things they give me payment for. And some of these children, some of these people, they are making up to 1,500. While Liberians who are doing some of the hard work in the place, some of them are 75 they're making, and they are not even employed. They are on contract. Go to these stores. Most of these store boarding, I can see the Liberian store boarding. The one that enter in a warehouse, bringing plank osa, bringing cement bag osa, bringing how you call the other bags, bringing out other bags osa. Most of them are not gainfully employed. They are contractors. They are there after 6, 7, 8 months. They move them from there and bring another group of people. The same way with some of these construction companies. They will bring coke from across, whether Indonesia or whatever, bring them and gainfully employ them. But Liberians that will be there, they will say they are contractors. And you know why they are doing these things? Because the ministry that is supposed to protect us, the government that is supposed to protect us, and to ensure that we are gainfully employed, then get time for you. When you hear Joseph Numa Boakai taking everything is fine and everything is okay. So what do you expect? A man who cares about you, a man who cares about your well-being, His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah, you say he was the worst man. So Joseph Numa Boakai is not there. He say, okay, I will teach them one lesson. I will teach them lesson. He will teach them lesson. So look at this. Look at what is happening. We thought that these permits was to discourage people, but rather it's encouraging them because the people have got to realize now that what? The government is so desperate for money. They want money. So therefore, when they show that green leaf, forget it. Anything can happen. The people are brave enough to do these things because they know you and myself as Liberians, we are not protected. Our government is not protecting us. No, we are not protected by our government. They will protect the foreigners or the aliens more than how they will protect you and myself. They prefer even giving the aliens more opportunity.
Cooperation and the extra work you're doing to make things happen for the country. For now, those are my remarks. The other day we went to the HIV/AIDS program. You know,
You see what we are talking about? So Joseph Numa Boakai ain't care about you and myself. When he ready, he will bring Josiah Joker to insult our people, take you off the job. You that making $60. Joseph Numa Boakai is brave enough to sell you down. Who told you that these jobs that these people are getting the permits for, Liberians cannot do it? We are competent, capable, and qualified to do it. But we have not shown any serious strength to resist the government action of treating us like slaves in our own country. So Joseph Numa Boakai will treat you like slave. Because the man who cares about you, the man who will go out to lobby, you say, that man there is not correct. He's a buka dancer. But look at now what is happening. Before money was circulating. Now, don't even believe me. Listen to the people who are in the market. When these our mothers, they were sweeping and getting their latest, even though it was not enough, or getting their 70, getting their 80 at the end of the month, to some extent, they were helping other people. You know what it means? It is not enough. The money is not enough. $80, $100. It's not money. But at least they were doing something and show of getting something. But look at now what is happening. Look at what is happening now. As I speak to you, they don't have the job. They have lost the job. So who you expect to go in the market to go and buy? How will the cash circulate? And that's the most common thing that you can do in the 10th grade. Supply and demand. So when you read about your economy, it tells you about the circular flow. 2, 3, 4, and up to whatever. So how will you experience cash flow in the country? The cash is not flowing. Certain group is getting the cash, and guess what? They are sending it out in the United States. The vast majority of these people, they are sending the money out. The people who are least supposed to use their money in the economy, they put them down. They sack them. These 8,000 payments, you think they're using the money in your country, in Liberia? You think that in Liberia they're using your money? They one day can be brave enough to go buy their food, 5 or 6 persons sit down and eat it. The money is not being spent in Liberia. So there is a serious problem of cash flight in Liberia. these 8,000 people, they're not spending the money in Liberia. No. The people who were supposed to spend the money in Liberia, they took the job from them. The Liberians themselves. The old man who was sweeping on the sidewalk. The almost 700 person that was working at the Ministry of, how you call the thing, state. They sacked them. Some of the people that were working at the Freeport, that they sacked them. The thing is, these people are reducing employees. And the money is going in their pockets. For example, if you get 20% there, it tells you, my man, put 10% down. Take the 5% money, put it in your pocket, the other 5 send it to Joseph Newman Boakai. That's what is happening. So it is not that they're putting people down and they're bringing people. They're putting people down and just bringing small of their people. And the vast majority of the money that's supposed to be used is going in their pockets. That's why you see them making all of these fabulous benefits. I play you the video of the central bank governor that making $7,000 every month. He say for stopping $5,000 for horse rent every month. $5,000 every month. $5,000. So these people are engaged in these things so they can enrich themselves. If you gave them chance, they will establish a bureau to even take money from churches. I'm telling you. What do you expect from these people? Expect nothing good from them. No, expect nothing good from them because they are desperate. They want it for themselves, not for the Liberian people. They want it for themselves. They want to empower themselves. They want to enrich themselves. That's what they want to do. They don't care about you. No, you are not their concern. For you, they believe that if you leave a day alone, eh, whatever will happen to you, let it happen to you. They get time for you. They don't have time for you. That's the reason why they take a bunch of people and say, they put them on poster and say, yeah, these are the people that will be propagating the government agenda. There's a national embarrassment. And I want to read something that was written by, how you call, J. Rennie Dapo. I want to read this, courtesy of J. Rennie Dapo. Let me just put it right here. Let me copy this and I'll put it right here. Courtesy of J. Rennie Dapo. Let's go here and put this right here. This is courtesy of J. Rennie Dapo. Let me put it right here. Courtesy of J. Rennie Dapo. This is what Randy is saying. Randy is saying that the Boakai administration, another national embarrassment. The administration of President Joseph Newman Boakai has become a textbook example of failed leadership and misplaced priorities. Since taking office, Boakai has shown no clear vision or tangible path to address Liberia's creeping challenges like poverty, corruption, and the collapsing infrastructure. Yet, his ministers and agency directors have found the time to abandon their duties and launch a podcast class reload instead of working to improve the people's life, instead of working to give the people hope, instead of working to ensure that the problems are solved. But they sit down. They say the on class reload. Stop. They say the on class reload. They don't care about you. They are defending their pockets, like I said yesterday. The boys are defending their pockets. They are defending their monthly different allowances that they are getting at your detriment. You think they get time to defend the Liberian people? They take you as their less priority. They get time for you. 8,000 permit a small thing in our country under these circumstances. So job is there, but the government is denying you of jobs. So you can see now, the government is denying you of jobs and giving jobs to people who are foreigners. There's a government who does not even care even about the Liberian Business Association. The last time I saw the people crying, let me see. I think I have it here. Eh? Yeah, I think I should have it here. Let me see. The Liberia Business Association. They were crying. The last time they were crying. Yeah, the stuff here. Let me bring it here so you can see it. They were crying. It is still crying. Let me bring this here. Liberia Business Association. Yeah. Last year they were crying. Yeah, is it? Let me bring it right here. Where is this? Okay. Let me bring it right here. Add. Sorry. Let me move this. Remove. Okay. Here is it. Liberia Business Association. Let them hear crying. Let me put myself under here. Okay, fine. That's good. Here is it. Look here. Look. The Liberia Business Association. Let them hear crying. It's a Liberia Business Association president frown at foreigners' involvement in businesses lawfully embarked for Liberian or earmarked, sorry, for Liberian. Let's read this story, right? Let's read this story. It says Monrovia, the president of the Liberia Business Association, that is LIBA, James M. Strong, has frowned at the Liberia Business Registry, that is the LBR, for reportedly providing business licenses to foreigners to get involved into businesses lawfully earmarked for Liberians' small, medium, and large enterprises. LIBA on Wednesday in a press conference said businesses that were exclusively set aside for only Liberians stop. Said sorry my people, doing this show here together not easy. There are people they want their own attention. I need to give it, but again, we need to continue with this particular how you call a presentation. So just bear with us. So let's read this. I'm sorry. So there will be distraction around the place. So he say, where is it? Where are we, sir? Sorry, get distracted. Okay, so the president of the Liberian Business Association, Liba James S. Strong, has frowned at the Liberia Business Registry for reportedly providing business licenses to foreigners to get involved into businesses lawfully earmarked for Liberian small, medium, and large enterprises. And this story is by Francis G. Boy. He said Liba on Wednesday in a press conference said businesses that were exclusively set aside for Liberians to do have been encroached on by foreigners through through intentional violation. You hear? Intentional violation. So it means these people are aided by the government. So you see that intentional violation, which require imposition of fine by Liberian government. Foreigners' involvement in sand mining, bricks making. Yeah, my people. Excuse, move. So my people, you see, we gotta do what we gotta do today. We'll do the presentation. Yeah. Mhm. So at the end of the day, he said, uh, foreigners' involvement in sand mining, bricks making, ice cream production, amongst other restricted businesses, should be denied business license by the Liberia Business Association to avoid the culture of continuous violation. Liberians are tired and need their rightful economic position in their own economy. So if the government does not stop giving licenses in commercial areas that Liberians need to do businesses, we will take our own constructive action, Strong said. According to LIBA president, Liberia retailer sector needs to be managed by Liberians' own businesses because they are the owners of their country's economy. He said businesses like Samani, bricks factory, and retail mineral water. Stop. Retail mineral water making, amongst other, are set aside for Liberian to do based on legal reliance. You see that? I just want to stop here, my people. The distraction from the other presenter is too much. So let's stop there. So you see there, businesses that Let me see if I can copy this and put it right here. Those of you that have the time, you can read it while we. Okay, let me put it right here. If you have the time, you can read it because we try to. Okay, so I'm putting it right there. So when you have the time, you can take your own time and read it. So you see that they don't care about Liberian businesses. Liberian businesses is almost like, it's not existent to them. So that's why these people, they will give licenses to people who are not, even fit to even work in Liberia, to even come and clean. These people that should be providing job, people that should be job providers, are the people who come in to be cleaner around the place. Somebody will come and call and say investor. Five. Sorry, my people. The presentation here today and not easy. Stop, please. Let me do my presentation. Okay, so sorry, everybody require their own attention. So, it is what it is. So at the end of the day, look at what is happening. Taking our jobs. I mean, jobs that we can literally do. Giving it to these people. People who say they come to come provide job. Call themselves investors. And you bring somebody to come be cook. You bring somebody to come be nanny. You bring somebody to come write receipt. Because they writing receipt. They are not even accountant. They are writing receipt. And then we are okay. We are complacent with it. We feel so excited. This is the country we find ourselves in, fellow Liberians. So it is scaring. The alarming rate of permits that has been issued, it is scaring. Very scaring. The second thing I want to talk on has to do with the escalating police brutality and unexplained death, in Liberia. And the police will not even investigate it. This is scary. Just a few days ago, a police commander beat a pregnant lady to death. Beat that lady to death. Police has been doing these things and getting away with impunity. They don't care. They give a hang. They don't want to know. This is scary. This is worrisome. This is troubling. This is troubling. Nobody has been brought to book. With all of the deaths that we are hearing, all of the deaths that we are hearing in police station, you wake up one morning, say, oh, the other person here, he hang himself in the police station. Oh, the other person do that one in the police station. Oh, the person do that one in the police station. At the end of the day, these people are not brought to book. Imagine how with somebody be in a police cell and that person, according to police, the person hang themselves. But at the end of the day, the people who were even on duty are not called for questioning. The commander of that particular zone is stayed there as a commander. So you see, the people don't have time. Mob violence has taken over. I watch a video of how the community took law into their own hand, beat two guys who they said allegedly was involved in criminality. Like I was saying yesterday, that the crime have increased in our country. And let me just play you this while I attend to something because yeah, my people, and not easy, we gotta do what we gotta do. That's the important thing around here. So let me play you this. Let me play you this and then be able to. Let me play you this while I attend to what I'm supposed to attend to quickly. Go ahead, load it up. But again, you can follow the page, like, follow, and share the page under the Palava Hut. Please follow us, for. So let me play you this while I try to attend to what I'm supposed to attend to. Let me see if I can bring you this quickly. Okay, so let me.
I pray those of you who are sick, I pray for you celebrating. I pray, that He grants you the grace and give you your heart desire. But I have a quick information that has to do with the death of our sister, James Etta. Remember the sister who went to ELWA hospital to go and give birth and alleged that her kidney, was removed unbeknown to her without family consent. And she went to JFK and actually, she's actually dead. She's dead, she's dead. And may her soul rest in peace. But I'm here to tell you that, do you know that this girl kidney was removed and given to Madam Katomo Boakai, the wife of Joseph Numa Boakai? For those of you that don't know, that is the information. Now, how did we come up with this information? A nurse who worked in the operating theater was able to disclose this information. As I speak to you, that nurse is not in Liberia. She has left from Liberia because she's about to spill so many information out about some of the malpractices or some of the bad practices that has been happening at the ELW hospital. So she is currently out of Liberia, and she was the one that disclosed this information that in fact James Etta kidney was actually removed, and the person or the recipient of that particular kidney was Madam Katomo Boakai. That was a very sensitive operation that was carried on, and the kidney was, given to Madam Katomo Boakai. So as I speak, fellow Liberian, that is the information we have. I'm going to put James Etta picture in this particular video. But again, I want to say this is terrible. This is the reason why we have most of these medical facilities in Liberia is, overtaken by doctors who are not qualified. The health sector under Joseph Numa Boakai is very terrible. I mean, very, very terrible, to the extent that this girl who accused the ELW hospital of taking her kidney, they make noise about it, and she went to Ghana for further medical checkup. Unfortunately, because of some one or two influence that they had there, they were able to keep the information, and I gave this girl the proper medical information. But again, the information is according to a nurse who is also one very, very influential person who ran away from the place, and she's out of Liberia. She also worked in the operating theater, said that this girl kidney was taken from her and given to Madam Katomo Boakai, who actually was ill and she needed kidney transplant. So I'm going to put a picture, this girl picture, James Etta picture, in this video. So share the video and let people know of this that is happening. Our hospitals in Liberia is filled with people who are not qualified medical practitioners. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying that they are not qualified medical practitioners in Liberia. There are qualified medical practitioners. But unfortunately, you know that during the opposition of this particular government that is currently there, they use some people in the medical field to make this government look unpopular. And these people who were not adequate medical practitioners are now today within the medical system, only because they feel that that is a kind of political reward for them. And these people, without any trained proper medical knowledge. They are conducting all kind of different operations, doing all kind of killing in Liberia, and this government have not taken a serious step or put somebody in prison for this kind of act. It is scaring, it is terrible. But again, I say my deepest condolences to the family of our sister James Etta, who kidney was taken and given to Madam Katumu Boakai while she was in Ghana. Let's keep praying. Let's keep praying for others who are in the hospitals, because the hospitals, some of these hospitals are not even telling people when they are carrying on this illegal operation
My
to
sister
harvest
Nina.
your parts and give it to other people who are potential receivers. They are not even informing you. Some of them, they carry on because they know that Liberia is a society that is struggling and people may not be able to have the opportunity to do a kind of in-depth forensic investigation on their health. So these are things that they are carrying on. But let's pray for our nation. And again, let's join the family of this particular sister, James Etta, to demand that the government must be able to make sure that Madam Katumu Boakai is brought to book, because she is living today because they removed the kidney of James Etta without her knowledge and donated her kidney to Madam Katumu Boakai. So let this information go across. Thank you all. And her picture is going to be in this video. Bye from my end.
This is James Etta. Now, let me take this off. Let's take this off. Fellow Liberians, there is an increase in police brutality in Liberia. The police that is supposed to be protecting us, unfortunately, they are the ones that are carrying on some of the heinous atrocity, unthinkable atrocity in Liberia. I don't want you to believe me. The Independent Commission on Human Rights, they did a report. And in March, they put out this report that I want you to see, courtesy of the Liberian investigator. Here is it. Let me bring this here. Okay. You see here? I hope I've taken care of some other stuff. I hope I can be able to, have the time to really read this. Here is it. Here's the communication. You see here? The Liberian investigator. That is the Independent Commission on Human Rights. INCHR is the Independent Commission on Human Rights. They say INCHR raises alarm over escalating human rights violations in Liberia. Let's go ahead and read some. Monrovia. The Independent National Commission on Human Rights, that is the INHCR, has sounded the alarm over a significant rise in human rights violation across Liberia in 2024, making a troubling increase compared to previous year. You hear it? The people say compared to previous year, this has increased as compared to previous year. Like the people on the streets, the marketeers are saying, things are more than before. Now, these are people who worked as per the data. Are you telling us now these people they are not educated or they are also pay agent too? So they are telling us that the violence in Liberia is on the increase as compared to previous years. Police brutality, violation. It said addressing a press conference in Monrovia on Wednesday, the INCHR chairperson, Councillor Dempster Brown, presented the Commission's annual human rights situation report. The report, based on data collected by field officers across 15 counties, detailed a surge in abuses despite ongoing government efforts to strengthen the justice system and promote free expression. No, government is not making effort to strengthen the justice system. The last time that we checked, Joseph Numa Boakai was using his muzzle to subdue the justice system so that they can concur with him in the case of how you call Jeremiah Kuhn, that criminal and the man who seized power. So let's go ahead. It says Councillor Browns highlighted a range of escalating violations, including state security brutality, prolonged pre-trial detention, rape, and gender-based violence, and the persistent failure of rule of law institutions to expedite justice. He noted that these issues have further limited access to justice for many Liberians. Additional concerns raised in the report include ritualistic killing, mob justice, child labor, and the lack of justice sector capacity to adequately respond to cases. The RNCHR expressed disappointment over the government's inability to implement effective measures to combat these violations. You see it right there. Let me take it and then put it right there, because I know some of our people, they will want to argue. Let this information, I'll be putting this information here now for us. I will put it there. So those who want to read, you can take it, and then be able to use it uh, in whatever place, to be able to strengthen your own argument. So let me put it right there. This is it. So increase in police brutality, ritualistic killing is all around the place. Like I had a very quick show yesterday. In fact, it was this morning, right? It was this morning, and I want to play this. I think it was this morning. I had this, and I want to play it. Let me play it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope wherever you are, I hope this video finds you in a very, very good position and condition.
So
It is my prayer that you will, you know, try to overcome whatever the situation is, the circumstance is that you are going through. There is something that is worrisome, and I think it's important that we use our platform to inform the world about what is going on. There is a rise in unexplained death in Liberia, with the government doing absolutely nothing to address the situation. It is worrisome. It is scary. The reason for which we are saying this is not to make you afraid. This is not a propaganda. This is not a unity party thing or a CDC thing. This is about our country. This is about our nation. This is what is happening. We are not here to play politics. But it is unfortunate, fellow Liberians that are listening to me, that with all of the level of unexplained death that is taking place in Liberia, that the government has not clamped down on areas that these things are becoming rampant. It is worrisome. As I speak to you, I just received, a friend of mine is in Lofa, right? And I just received a message from him. He's based in Lofa. And this particular friend of mine called me and said, Prince, something is happening here in Lofa. And I know it's not only Lofa that people are not talking about. He said, Prince, the level of unexplained death is too rampant in this county. Every day or after every 2 days, there will be a body discovered with other day parts removed or that part removed. Every day now in Lofa, and the police are there and doing nothing, absolutely nothing. So we were talking, I told you, I said, well, this is not a Lofa problem. This is a Liberia problem. The government is doing absolutely nothing. Every morning we wake up to another death. Every morning we wake up to another death. Every morning we wake up to another death. It's becoming scary. It's horrible. It's terrible. I've not come here to tell you about politics. I've not come here to tell you about party. I've come here to talk about my country, Liberia, where everything that I'm working for is, we want to call on the government to please do something about this thing that is going on. We have mob justice around the place that are not even, the government is doing nothing to take care of. Then, in addition to mob justice in Liberia, then every morning we wake up, it's just another dead body. Every day, it's just another dead body. If it is not dead body in this other community, it's another dead body in this community, another dead body in this community. What is going on? And the police is doing absolutely nothing about it. You have Gregory Cuomo sitting very comfortably. Very comfortably, Gregory Cuomo is sitting as if all is well. But again, do I blame Gregory Cuomo? No. When Joseph Numa Boakai went to a cabinet meeting and said, no, the country already. My people, this is not politics. I've not come here to talk politics. I've come here to talk about the country that belongs to you and belongs to me. I have come here to talk about the country that all of us, we have interest in that particular country. That's what I've come to talk about. This is not politics. Don't bring your politics business to me. It's unfortunate that we have a government that will do absolutely nothing. Once it is 5:30, 6 o'clock, the streets are empty. You cannot see police. Our communities are vulnerable. Our children are vulnerable. What is going on? So we don't have women organization again in Liberia? What happened to our mothers who yesterday they were protesting? What happened to them? What happened to all these organizations that people are dying on a daily basis and nobody is talking about it? What is going on in Liberia? What is going on? Our children are there. Our families are there. We are not excited when we are hearing this news. It is not a good thing. We have police that will leave the street by 5:30. When the police come up in the morning, the only thing that they do is to run behind motorcyclists. The only thing that the police are very effective in is to give a kiame a hard time. What is this? What is happening, my people? What is happening in our Liberia? What is going on? Is it only us that are seeing this? That nobody's seeing it? Is it because these lawmakers that you call lawmakers, these representatives and senators, is it because maybe they have securities with them? So the people who are dying on a daily basis, they gave a hang about them? Why we voted Joseph Numa Boakai? Is it not to protect us? Is it not to ensure that our country is secure? What have we done wrong? That our children are dying. Look at the dead bodies that you are seeing around. These are not older people. These are all young guys. These are all young girls. Unexplained death is taking over the country right now. Everywhere there are deaths. Everywhere you pass, body on the other side, body on the other side, body on the other side. Motorcyclists are being killed. Police are not even investigating. Police are not investigating. The police, as I speak to you now, you cannot see them. All of them, when you go to the various stations, they're where they are. They are sleeping. There is no more police patrol. I remember under the stewardship of His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Patrol Suru. They used to have the community patrol team. I know many of my colleagues who used to be part of that team, the community patrol team. It's no longer working again. Every morning, people will wake up to another death. My people, something terrible is happening in Liberia. I am not here to play politics. This is horrible. This is horrible. If you can share this video,
So,
share
fellow
it. If you don't want to
Liberians,
share it, it will still go. Somebody, a good Samaritan, will definitely share this video. But it is worrisome. Some of us are not there. We are here, but what we are seeing, what we are hearing is becoming, making us afraid. We get our family down there. We have our children there. We have whatever that we work for is down there.
so fellow Liberians, on this note, we got to take our leave because we have to attend to some other issues. It's not easy. That's why during the weekdays I don't really come out like that because it's a very busy day for me, but we try to always do it. So thank you all. Until we meet probably this evening or so another time, have yourself a God bless day and bye from our end.